Howdy chaps, and welcome to a brief Transport Fever video. I'm honestly more recording this from my squad or anything else since I've sort of dragged them unwillingly and into watching me play Transport Fever. And so this is more to explain what the hell I just talked about. But long story short, this locomotive became available this year, 1897, and it's an Austrian express mountain locomotive. So it's technically supposed to be used for passenger trains. But it has the particular distinction of being one strong motherfucker. In that I don't have to run tandem locomotives anymore. Oh jeez. There's a brilliant lightning storm going on outside right now. But as such, I've been able to reduce my trains to a single locomotive instead of a tandem style locomotive, and they gained 8 miles per hour and a 33% increase in goods. Long story short, brilliant piece of technology. It like 33% here. Over here, this is a good. I guess it's technically only 25% more over here of rocks and slag and stuff. But the gist of it sits that this steel mill needs to go through this mountain range to this machine factory. I'll put these up next to each other. And the gist of how this works is that one iron from over there and one coal from over there come in here and they produce one steel. But if I can move rocks and shit up the line, along the same line as the steel line, or just anywhere in general, then they'll produce this slag and also 2 steel. It's notable that but this rock and slag needs to go somewhere. So I'm hauling this steel up and some rocks and stuff. And I only need to carry half as many rocks as I do steel. So I have my line manager down here right now, which will move over here to observe just these lines, which currently aren't showing anything for very weird reasons. Oh, that's because, yeah, I've already disconnected the rail line. But long story short, this one's sitting at about, 1,200. This one's sitting about 600, about. If you can get them perfect, it's wonderful, but honestly, delays and stoppage in the line will just happen pretty much regardless. It's almost impossible to get them evenly balanced. But if you get them pretty close, it tends to be about 1 car's worth of goods, and you can stomach a car's worth of barely profit. Basically, I have 2 trains running slag and rocks up here, at which point they feed into this train over here, running. Oh yeah, this is what they used to look like. These tandem-style locomotives. They're going out of style. By out of style, I mean they're getting pushed over into these side trains, which run. This one runs a feeder line, which comes down, crosses this bridge, runs over to this construction plant, which takes 1 rock or slag and turns it into construction goods, which takes another train. I think this train specifically, which is just a small, extra old locomotive that it's cheap, runs, and it runs down here to this wood line where it deposits it right there in that pile of bricks, and then it has another train that comes along, like one of these, but a little bigger. Let me see if I can find it. It should be around here. There it is. This one, which comes in and sits down over there and drags this back up here for distribution to this distribution point, which distributes it to these 2 cities via just a distribution network of cards. So long story short, this stuff comes up here. If I can get this to 600, which I got by upgrading the trains, then I could probably also run these construction materials back down this line, this same line, since they ride on state cars, and my steel is delivered by state cars. Let me see if I can find them. Yeah, my steel goes up on these state cars, which, as you can see, are becoming increasingly empty because there wasn't actually enough resources to deal with the increased transport capabilities of these new trains, which I just was not expecting. It was very surprising, to say the least. So with those new transport capabilities, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, and there's a wood line that has to supply like twice as much wood as it does iron, and so I'll need to get that up to 2,000, and I think it's currently at something, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Long story short, the wood is tangential to the iron. It doesn't really matter. It's there so that they can produce machines instead of just tools, but I'm really only around for the machine production right now, trying to optimize this iron thing. The wood is something that I kind of go to later and chuck more trains at, or bigger trains, or faster trains and stuff, and it'll increase the production of this place in general, because it can produce these in tandem. And so adding more iron on its own just increases tool production, but having machines gives more stuff for my trains to transport. But currently, right now, my transport network is already a little strained as is. But we're definitely bottlenecking down here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm upgrading my station entrance to a double track. I'm probably going to use this iron spur that I got right here. Just take that. Look that all the way around here. And we'll put that. I want to put the X crossing really close to here. All of the alert notifications are flashing in the top, letting me know that I have disconnected lines. Too much slope. So we'll go ahead and break some more stuff. Ah, there we go. Okay. I'll put these away since I know more or less what I'm doing. One should hope the transport mogul who controls the entire state industry for transportation knows what he's doing. We'll just go ahead and plop a signal down here, make it one way. Toss another down over here. I think I just heard someone at the door, so I'll pause this recording and be right back. Alrighty, and we're back. For those wondering, it was my RA. Apparently I own too much alcohol, and it's illegal in the state of Arkansas. No, I'm joking. She gave me a bag of candy, because it's Halloween. My girlfriend says Happy Halloween, but she's sleeping off a concussion. This week has been difficult. Anyway, I'll make this the entrance to this. Jesus, it's bright out there. It should be noted that the sun has gone down. It should not be bright, but it is. That will block the hell out of the station. Alrighty, I think that resolves. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, we'll just do the most Italian thing I can think of. Oh, it's auto-saving. Country roads, take me home. Please don't demonetize me. Oh my god. It's copyrighted. They're gonna eat my soul. My girlfriend finished it off in the background. was a bridge. Fine. We'll build the finest Italian super bridge. Oof. You sure we could just do something like that? This is reasonable. Fine. Oh, there's no autosave in that. Okay, fine. Yep, you're just out in the country, out for your stroll. You come up, and oh, Jesus. That's a lot of bridge. You only need the last quarter of it. But it fixes our problem. I'm gonna go ahead and smooth out those edges. Make it look like this was actually built by a person. By a vengeful rock golem. Lots of rocks everywhere. Yeah, see those gentle slopes. It's beautiful. Alrighty. Let's set about breaking everything. Ooh, there are brilliant flashes of lightning right now. In the sense of, like, terrifyingly bright. See, we could up this to 4, have a delivery track. And I'm contemplating turning this coal route into a double track as well. But I don't think we have to just yet. All the same, we might double track it out to, say, over here and put a terminal station in, since I don't anticipate cargo going much further down. Yeah, we'll make it a kink so that this runs as a main line up along this way. And you hop off the side. That's like a siding into Bellazona. And I mean, we can confine our rail yard activities to right over here. And also that we can run, if we run this as a double track, we could probably merge, oh, I see we already have. We can merge a lot more rail traffic together if we run this as a double track, I think. This already pretty much follows it. We'll probably run that as a double track too, maybe. It is basically just a small supply of rocks. Which is pretty necessary because this whole industry chain can sometimes get a little fucked by, like, that having to work pretty well. And so a small supply of rocks keeps the construction people happy because they're always able to build something. Keeps them from downgrading, which is nice. Keeps the entire thing just a little more stable, if a little bit less profitable. Yeah, I think that'd work out really well, actually, because we could just delete this portion of the town. Delete this portion of the town. Rebridge it, and or rebuild it, and set up things there. Yeah, no. Some big coal trains right now. So I hope this gives you guys like a better idea of what I've been talking about. Because I've been talking about this for a couple days in Discord. And like how there's 3 sections. There's this valley down here where a lot of things are produced. There's this one where things are manufactured, and then this is the super cool passenger route I've been telling you all about. It's got some modified train stations and the brand new Prussian S3 Express locomotive doing non-express things at 62 miles an hour. This thing's bloody fast. Only has 27 people on board. It's probably dragging us into debt. But the cities are getting bigger. I need to casually convince them to move across the tracks. To the wrong side of town, if you will. See, these guys have got it. They made the jump. I built the 2 bridges. And like, there's always people. I might build a second street connection here, actually. Because I've already got 2 things coming in. Yes, here's an actual express line. Because it's meant to only hold 50 people. And goes about 62 all the time. And it's honestly the main source of traffic for this thing. Is like people going between this city and that city. I had to pay more attention to Varsi. It's a pretty advantageous sitting place. Maybe I'll upgrade this into a 4-line one. Make this entire line just a big roundel between this lake. Run S3s all across it. These guys could tech on it, round out the internet. I like roundels. Roundels? I call them roundels. They're circular. Boat line down there. It's just a failed experiment that we don't talk about. Oh yeah, but the passenger line that I want to get into. Just to explain it real quick, because I've been showing off a lot of screenshots of it. Basically, the main lines run around here to the 3 biggest cities in the region. Chiasso produces some people. And the 2 original biggest cities were Varsi and Medriso, so this is the original main line that flows around here. It's actually still got the original vehicles on it because it wound up not growing as fast as I thought it would, and so it's just kind of sitting there. Or not the original, these are the slightly upgraded. There was more transport on, but it's holding enough people right now. It doesn't really need to be upgraded to anything. I don't need longer trains or faster trains. They're just content. So it's going to sit on those vehicles until I decide that they're just old as shit and need to be replaced. Custom station by someone. I think this is the... Oh, that was actually kind of freaky. It's the Dusseldorf station. Schwerin. Anyway, back to what I was doing. Turning this coal line into a double-tracked monstrosity. Also, I have the pork barrel mod. Is it considered cheating by everyone? Yes. Do I enjoy cheating so much right now? Yeah, these locomotives are expensive as hell, and like, I'd have to wait forever to actually get to use any of them. I was honestly more using this to get a feel for the trains originally, but I'm just kind of enjoying playing with the relative freedom to drop $40 million into my company at will, since I'm basically playing as the state. I figured it would only be appropriate to play as the state and make semi-poor investments at every opportunity. Also, people don't walk down the road, so enjoy getting stopped by the train. And we'll just let this train get past. Just blow it up, man. And we'll run this double track all the way up to here. It's 57, really? It is a freight line. The good thing about freight lines is it doesn't really matter how slow you put them. I think I'll put the kick back into normal right about here. Since this is likely to be the heaviest traffic here for so far. Alright, let's spend a bunch of money making the company seem worse to. Flash flood warning till 11:45. Okay. Yeah, I just got a small warning telling me to watch out for killer waves in my street near me. Alright, so if I provide that to there, it'll be expensive. But if I provide it to here, it'll be great. So what I'm going to do now is... Nope. Ugh. There's a lot of Google alerts over here. Hold on, I'm going to get rid of these. There we go. I could just get rid of the station building. Oh, cool. Ground pedestrian. Whoa. Okay, there's a lot of stuff about this I didn't know. But one thing I also didn't know is that there is no straight curved station. So we're just going to have to deal with our moderately phallic station the way most people have. By denying that it's moderately phallic shaped. Show me your contours. Oh, they're not that bad. If I want to build a 320 meter long dick shaped station, will that still be able to work at 320 meters? And 8 platform? No, about 2. Yeah, we just take out a row of houses. Just take out a row of houses. God, I love my adventures in capitalism. I do, actually. I love it. It's an economic system that I hold dear. You could probably write a book on what it means to hold an economic system dear. I know just about every Marxist in history has, but not that I don't like them. I mean, they've got interesting viewpoints, especially on their criticisms of capitalism. I'm not going to say they're all right or that we should all go start communist utopia, but I mean, like, as a philosopher, Marx winds up being, like, moderately decent. As a historian or a social revolutionary, I mean, he's kind of terrible at providing any answers, but, you know, that's because he's a philosopher. The whole thing is, like, if you try and set up a society according to Heidegger, you're going to be sitting around trying to run some sort of fascist hellhole. Like, it's gonna be bad. The gist of what I get from philosophy class is don't let the philosophers run shit. Just put them in a corner and let them debate. Not one way, yeah. This will be a double slip switch so people can pop off and back on. We'll throw some signals down to make the people feel good about themselves. And yeah, no, I'm not declaring myself a communist or anything. Because communism, honestly, just... we're not going to comment on that right now. I know that people hold differing beliefs, and I don't want to bitch about politics anymore. People have been bitching too much already. Throw down a thing over there. This one good. Let's see. So seeing as this line's mostly flat, we don't even need the train to be that well performing. And it's not that far. So if I do this, I probably need... Well, honestly, I can just upgrade the construction people with whatever new kind of engine and stake cars they need to keep up with the demand down here. What am I guessing the time for this might take? Well, let's use simple maths. This is about 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's call it a quarter. A really poor quarter. North Cole, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 minutes. We'll call it 3 minutes. 3 minutes. That is about, call it about double. So we'll get about 1,000 out of 2 trains. So we'll get about 500 out of 1. 600? We'll call it 600. And just rough guessing, a lot of stuff here. These steel things can haul 1,000, we get 600, so we might need 2 trains to take the full brunt of this, but I doubt we'll need that. So one of these trains, that's 1,000, that, 2, that's 3, so these are about 260-ish a piece, I guess, on the steel trains. So if I run a boxcar up that carries 96 things exactly, carry about 260 per year at 37 miles an hour, assuming the same amount of delays. So 260. The only number that really matters is 260. We'll assume that we managed to load the same amount of stuff. It's probably a little less. We'll go 250 just because it makes it nice round. So 250. We need a thing that can carry... some stuff. Okay, so I think we need 1 train. 1 train with stake cars. The ability to carry construction material. The ability to carry tools. So we'll need... we can call it 7 and 7 and stick an old freight locomotive on there and see what the numbers tell us. So these are the new ones. They're 1.3 million. These things produce literally double the power, and their tractive effort is just even higher. They're just good trains. That's why I needed these things, was to produce twice as much power. So these things rolled along. They were basically the same thing as 2 of these trains, except how long are they? Wow. I mean, yeah. Can you run 2 of these for the same price as this? Sure. I guess. I don't know. Long story short, I don't think we need that much for this line. So we need... Oh. Oh. Oh, hell, we'll just take some off. Okay, 24 cows and 40 things. Okay, let's see what that puts at 4.8, mediocre. Call it belly. Delivery 1. And it will just sit around and lose us money for a good year. In the meantime, I'm going to need a new train exactly like the old ones over here. Now this thing's just pumping out steel now. That's good. You can see the steel starting to build up again. This thing carrying its giant piles of rocks. Literally just doing a Sisyphean task, only to carry them back down on a different train as slightly more refined piles of rocks. Let's see. You can carry 117, but I think that's just because you spend a lot of time waiting. You can carry 400, so... What's the carrying capacity of this thing? Because they're even. 800? So that's about 400 for each. Yeah, that's actually pretty well balanced. Yeah, that's right, I need to resignal this. So we'll resignal this, and oh, the signals actually aren't that far apart. This isn't actually that long a section of double track. We'll ruin someone's day as they wait for the train to leave, but it never does. And yeah, I love how this amount of state cars carries the same amount as boxcars does, just because they're bigger. Can't wait for the new, updated, improved boxcars. Yeah, no. It's a fun little example of country lines. Also, since it's an output station, we could probably turn this into a passenger terminal. If we could turn it into a passenger terminal, then... Because you can drop off goods at passenger terminals, and if we can do that, then we can load the passengers onto here, connect this double line with this one, and run passenger trains up the mountain, but they'd be powered by steam trains, so they don't get by the freight trains. So we could just carry enormous loads of passengers up the mountain. At which point they could, I guess, dip off the side here, and loop around and connect into this line over here, which means we would need to increase the capacity of this line to deal with just the absolute influx of passengers. That, or we could turn this into a double line, link this over here, and hop onto this line, which is already double supplied. It's another major project, and we're not even out of 1897 yet. I think this is the last working, I think it's an Alco C. PLM 220. Oh, where I got Alco C from. But I think it's just the last one that we have on the line. Runs in tandem with this little express train over here. It's just a little faster than it, but they work real hard to supply, like, basically this thing with passengers to there, where they all want to go to Riviera. But it's honestly not full yet. I think this one transports 77 people. Yeah. So I don't know, that one's working just fine, to be honest. Might have to update it once better steam engines come along, but frankly it doesn't really need to be updated. Or if we do that thing. I'm forgetting something. I know what it is. This time. Almost forgot a goods train that goes up the mountain. This game has been pretty much just purely an exercise in seeing how efficient I can make a line. See, so for every turn they make a trip, 3 minutes. It takes these guys 12 minutes, so I need 4 times as many boxcars, which is 8, which is 24. But that is simply too long, so make a deal at 1872, and we will call it good enough. He can go on the rock line. Now, please be a brighter color. Okay, so Bellazona branch. Let's just tilt this so I'm looking directly down at it. So the green and blue rocks. Done. Goes into the brown, green. So I'm looking for iron, which moves on the blue line. Why is everyone driving down that line? That's weird. It's really weird. I'll have to fix that. I shouldn't have to fix that. That shouldn't be a thing. Yeah, that should just be resolved by something. Ripple green, ripple green. So this makes it let's put 7 trains on that line. And over here in the east, no, simple solution. Blow up the rail network. The hell do you mean there's too much curvature? We add 2 completely reasonable looking additions to the line. Oh boy. And we'll put line 1, as it's called. We need to fix that. We'll call it North Goods, since apparently that's just what we're calling the station. We'll make you 3. Ugh. Why is that? Can, I guess. But why would you? Simple. Doesn't give me an aneurysm. You can sit here at Badano East for until something's full for 3 minutes. Fantastic. I'm sure this won't cause any problems whatsoever. On the bright side, this guy's getting pretty much every piece of steel produced by that guy. So his production should go up sharply. The reason I stick this guy here instead of over there is mostly just because intake of coal and ore is much more important to me than anything else. Also, this guy has such a good power to weight ratio that I don't think it really matters. It's a really big section without a signal. Yeah, they should be doing that hop up over here. And the whole reason this exists is so this train can get onto this section of the track, but I think they're just using it as a later turn on. Because this isn't designated as a one-way track. So if I put a junction here, so yes, you can hold there. It could block an iron train here, so we'll need a junction here, or a signal here. And in return, we can just get rid of this one. Yay! It works exactly like I thought it would. Well, what's your problem? So you come in here, right? Yeah. And you turn around. Okay. Doesn't make any sense. See if just by reordering this it works better. Okay, dude. Didn't make this a one-way. That was stupid. This thing will come in here, hop onto that side, and do that. Awesome. Uber fantastic. And frankly, this line's so darn long that a single catch down here ain't gonna do much. Honestly, that's kind of close. Might just put a lower priority on ore deliveries back here, since they're getting kind of big anyway. Is that a full train? Is that a full train? It's a full train! They're back up to normal. Fantastic. Alright, how are we looking right here? It's gonna need more rocks. If we want to keep hauling, probably one per each. I think we're already kind of at the limit for how far we can push a station, though. Yeah, those tracks start really soon. I have to redesign the entire network for longer trains. I don't think the station can really be extended. We can push this inlet, though, out a bit. I might just cut the rock line entirely. Like, I like the rocks, but they're kind of getting in the way a bit. And so you just sit here at Bellazona Branch. Wait until you're full for, what, 3 minutes? That seems pretty industry standard. Just so you're not running around, wasting all me money. We really have moved into a system where this thing just kind of terminates you, and a lot of the goods get driven off. You can really see it with that sharp increase in things being unloaded. Anyway, I think that's about what I wanted to finish. It's a beautiful little mountain line, though. Here's the goods train coming with goods. Doing good time. Quick maths. Doing quick maths in my head. Could probably stick a more efficient train on here. I think this is doing just fine, though. And if I really want to offload this stuff, I could just stick a hub here and drive it in to both these towns. Might even start running goods down the line at that point, though. I think most of this construction stuff just sits here from nothing being delivered, but honestly, at that point, I might start delivering construction stuff down here and here. Never mind. That's a lot more. That's outside the scope of what I want to do here, which is explain this station expansion, which just, whew. That took a lot. Built this new line. Carries 32 things for every 72. So for every 2 trips that train, so for every train that makes, every 2 trips this train should make. That'll work out just fine. And my apartment, where I couldn't hear the lightning before, I'm starting to be able to hear the rain. So I think I'm going to cut this here before my entire apartment just explodes and the power goes out, like it always does when it rains. Arkansas. Anyway, cheers. Tomato out.